The one thing I'll say right now that people listen to this, a real person, a real alpha, a real go-getter, they ain't saying shit about nobody.
Correct.
That's why you will never, ever hear me dropping somebody's name, running my mouth about somebody. I don't know what you went through. I don't know what you're going through. I didn't wear the shoes you wore when you were a kid. I didn't grow up in your up house. I didn't have your up family. I don't know shit about you. So guess what I do? Shut the up. Because real men don't say shit. Because first of all, we're too busy trying to grind and be better.
Correct.
Second of all, unless we know what we know, we shut our mouths. But nowadays, there's not many real men who live by that creed of like, you know, if you're on social media running your mouth and shit, you're just a
Correct.
You're honestly, and that's not me trying to be some after school special shit. You really are. Real men ain't doing it. Real men don't care about that gossipy bullshit. Get to work, man. A lot of people see what they see. Maybe you're out of shape. Maybe you look lazy. Maybe you look slovenly. Maybe your outward appearance is not what it should be. No one saw what was inside of me. And that's the one thing I was afraid to pull this out, because who I was afraid kid, but something always said, man, you got more in you. And what this guy did was just did his job. He looked at me, I said, I want to be a SEAL. He goes, you got to do this, 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 and this. Every other recruiter was like, you're 300 pounds, bro. Like you walking into my office with a chocolate milkshake. So I don't blame them, because what they saw, I would have said the same shit. But this one recruiter, Steven Saljo, I walked in, he goes, I'm gonna do my job. I don't think this kid's gonna make it. There's no way, but I'm gonna do my job. And just by him giving me an opportunity, I gave the guy a lot of money a couple years ago. And he's like, what's this for? This is like literally 20 some years ago, I find Steven Saljo again, and I gave him money. He goes, what the hell you give me money for? I go, because you did your job. And if you didn't do your job, I would never have found David Goggins. Well, I believe that you have to build belief. Belief is like, there's an after school special belief where the mom says, believe in yourself, and that's all great, but there's also a built belief. And the built belief is one where you are constantly, like for me, I came from a bad place. How I build belief is through the daunting tasks I put myself through. So that's proof positive that I can. So it correlates. And that's how this piece of kid I once thought I was built belief by saying, I was in 3 Hell Weeks. I went to Ranger School. I tried out for Delta Selection.
Undeniable stack of proof.
That is proof. So whenever you think you can't, the confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. It can't be like, hey, I'm gonna go knock that shit out. You gotta look over here and say, I can knock it out. It's belief, and it's built on what you put in to yourself. You have to want it. You have to want to be a stronger version of yourself. I can't give you that. That's something that you have to want. You have to have a desire and a hunger and a dog in you that wants to become a stronger human being. Once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything. And I find it fascinating. I'm fascinated because I'll be in these moments. I put these guys on some pedestal.
Yeah. Which people do with you.
They do with me, and they shouldn't. And I was this guy who was a piece of shit looking at these, oh my God, how are you guys this amazing? But once I worked my way up there, I said, my God, man, we can all compete. Let's go. So do I like suffering? I like suffering in the way that is competitive.
Yep.
That brings out the absolute best in me and in everybody else. So like I want to see a man be defeated. I want to see a man get broken. and say, F you. I love these men. These men I love, but there's very few of them. There's very few of them. And there's very few that are willing to go there more than once. A lot of people, even people who've gone through special ops, it kicks out of them to a point where in their mind, what got me bad in pararescue was when I was going through it, I said, I'm only gonna do this one time. And so many people in special ops, whether they believe it or not, in anything, special ops in anything, that's hard, I'm only doing this one time. Once you say that, you yourself. Once you figure out that you're in a race amongst billions of people that live in this world, you're in a race by yourself. You have a purpose, and it's your purpose, not everybody else's purpose. It is your purpose and only your purpose, and it's your race. So then you're like, hey man, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing it the best of my ability. What's next? There's no longer these small increments to get through life. Because once you figure out why you're here, it just becomes a process. You are your own hero. You are your own leader. You are your own master. And that is a big one because we idolize so many people and we want to be them. We want to be someone else. And in doing that, you lose all the potential of who you are. You mimic, you be them, you are them, you become them, and you lose you. And we look up to so many people in this world who will let us down. We're humans. I'm gonna let you down. You're gonna let somebody down. If you put them on a pedestal, you then lose time when that person comes up and lets you down. You must hold yourself accountable, and being your own hero, that's what that does. You make yourself so totally accountable for who you are. You focus on you and only on you to become the best person you could be for others. Because we leave a lot on the table, not searching who we are. And then therefore, you die not knowing your greatest potential.
A lot of self-work can be summarized into thoughts aren't true, feelings don't require actions, things aren't good or bad, they just are. Our greatest enemy is ignorance. To change your life, change your surroundings. Our actions, not our pasts, define who we are. Always stick to what makes you weird, odd, strange, different. That's your source of power, which is similar to occupy your niche. Embrace your strangeness, identify what makes you different, fuse those things together and become an anomaly. Discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire. But discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself. And it's why discipline is so much more valuable. I remember this conversation between Jocko Willink and Sam Harris 6 years ago. And they're talking about how you can't fake bravery. Because if you do a thing in spite of being scared of doing the thing, that is bravery. Right? There's no such thing as fake bravery. Like if you do the thing and you're scared, that's bravery. If you don't do the thing and you weren't scared, that's not bravery, right? The same thing goes for discipline. Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline, right? You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do a thing. Make the promise small, build it up step by step. Know that you are going to have setbacks, and this is my favorite rule from James Clear, which is a habit missed once is a mistake. A habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. Never miss 2 days in a row. So ideally, go for a month, build it up. But after that, if you ever miss one day, go, okay, mistakes are going to happen. Tomorrow I double down. Tomorrow I go on time, absolutely perfect. I'm straight up out of bed, or I go to the gym, or I walk the dog, or I do my meditation or whatever. And that's a good heuristic. Stops errors snowballing into new habits. The goal isn't to have the perfect daily routine tomorrow. The goal is to still be winning your daily routine in 50 years' time. If you expand your time horizon sufficiently, you will realize that very, very tiny steps can compound. Make it so small that you can't say no to it. And then what's next? And then what's next? So when I decided that I was going to try and become a more virtuous version of me, I was going to start telling the truth. I was going to have a morning routine. I was going to develop a meditation habit. I was going to read, all of these things that I wanted to do, none of which I did, right? Toward the end of my 20s, none of which I did. All of which are now the foundation of my life. Over, I don't know, 1,500 meditation sessions and all of the authors on the podcast, et cetera, et cetera. I had to do that one step at a time. I didn't have a stable sleep and wake pattern until COVID, ever in my adult life. I'd never gone to bed and woken up at the same time for 7 days in a row until COVID, because I was running nightlife events, right? So if, no matter how difficult the setback is, even if you're a shift worker, you're a nurse, you're a parent, whatever your challenge is, just make the promise to yourself sufficiently small that even with that challenge in front of you, you can make it work. Use absence to increase respect. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you're already established in a group, temporary withdrawal from it will make you more talked about, even more admired. You must learn when to leave. Cultivate value through scarcity. A lot of the things that people want to get easily are only valuable because they're not attainable with ease, right? So if you end up trying to do this, if you did dial down the difficulty of achieving the thing that you say you want to achieve, you would no longer want it. And baked into the difficulty is the value of the thing. You are your own worst enemy. You waste precious time dreaming of the future instead of engaging in the present. Since nothing seems urgent to you, you're only half involved in what you do.
Healthy amount of time that you spend enjoying your life, you know, and enjoying the little time that you have here, because we both know we won't be doing this podcast 100 years from now.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know how much longer we have, but I won't be 154 sitting down talking to you. So however much time I have left, I need to work hard and I need to enjoy that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful, man. I've heard you talk about
you're already in pain. Get a reward for it. It's just like, look, do me a favor. Everything you say, you're right. But why go through life with whatever people did to you when you were younger or a young adult, and then you have to live with it for the next 40, 50 years? Like, why would you sit here and all the stuff that you said was absolutely right? My daddy wasn't there, my mama did this person did to me. Why would you let them destroy your life?
Let's go.
Why would you let them own you? Why would you allow that thing they did to hurt you now define the rest of your life?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I was in pain. It's real. Training with our books are good because people will read our books and interpret them in a way that we didn't intend for them to interpret it.
Yeah.
So when we do the training, or they get to come to a conference, or they get to watch the podcast, they're really investing more into what was he really saying?
Yeah.
And if they can do what you're saying, that habit, they can get the outcomes that me and you get.
Yeah, and it's also being around other people who are in that mindset, who are pushing, and you're seeing them grow, and it's influencing you to grow, and you're so the community aspect of we're getting coached together, we're growing together, we're working on our goals together, all that stuff.
The traffic,
paying attention.
I got pay attention. He moved over and I was like, why is he stopping in the middle of on the crowd? But it was a fire truck was coming. So he had to move over. I didn't know what was going on because it was the first time in my life that I wasn't really like responsible, because I normally drive. And that's why people don't want to drive in their lives. They don't want to be responsible. It's so much easier to say, my life is messed up because you did this and you did that. Once you take the keys down, you got to go anything. But I'm going to tell you this. This is why I like it. While it's more responsibility, it's more freedom. It's more independence.
But I mean, what about the people? Going back to kind of your story of the victim mindset.
Yeah.
You know, your mom lies to you about your dad. You don't see your dad. You know, abandoned warehouses. You know, all the problems. Inner city kids struggle, getting kicked out of school, struggling. You had everything against you, right? And
hold on. See, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Okay, so I got you. So that's the outside, inside. So that's you had everything against you. No, the greatest problem was I was against me. That was the bigger challenge.
But most people have both of that. I wouldn't say most people, but a lot of people might be listening or watching who might feel like the outside has been holding them down.
No question.
Right? Their parents have been holding them down. Their school, their teachers, their coach doesn't give them the opportunity.
No question.
Their boss is holding them down, whatever it might be. The economy is holding them down.
1,000%.
Where I live is holding me down. The president, the government, it's all holding me down.
All of it. It's holding you down.
Your events, you've spoken at my events, we've helped each other with book launches, all that stuff, and just been fans of each other over 10 years. And we've seen a lot of people in this space come and go. We've seen people try to come and they get a big hit and then they fall off. And they don't stay consistent. And we've continued to stay consistent. And I think what both of us do really well is we have a vision of a future that for ourselves and the world that we live into.
It was the day coach said to me, "This is why I've been trying to train you, because I wanted you to be the best father you could be."
Yeah.
And so you miss some classes, you miss some lessons. Your son is here now. He needs the best version of you.
Wow.
We can't repeat the mistakes of the past. And so I need you to hurry up. And so when Jalen was born, from that day forward, I remember when he was born, I held him. And it was kind of like he looked at me like, "You the person that's gonna take care of me?"
Wow.
And that was the day. And this is what a lot of you are running from. It's the R word. And I get it because it's tough. Responsibility.
Ooh.
That was the day where it's like, you gotta be responsible for somebody else.
Yeah.
You cannot.
When things are really good in business, I'm typically suffering because growth pains are painful. If things are plateauing, I'm usually suffering because plateaus are painful because you don't know, like, why are we stagnating? What's going on? And if you're declining, it's really painful. And so it's just like life is painful. I've taken a lot of effort to try and operationalize emotions so that I can either get out of them or lean into them. So like patience, for example, right? I'm only bringing this up because I think it might be relevant to some people, is that most goals are attainable if you expand the time horizon, even enormous ones. Like you can do anything in 10 years.
You could walk to the moon.
There you go. You can do anything. And so for me, I would say, a naturally impatient person. Like I tend to want things immediately now. And you know what? You probably are too. But once I defined patience as figuring out what to do in the meantime, it allowed me to control what I did. Because now, like you and I are being patient for your stock investments. Right now, as we're on this podcast, we're being patient for that because we're doing things in the meantime. And so whenever I felt impatient and wanted to change course, I had to just redefine, what do I need to do today? And if you are sad and impatient, then it means that right now you need to learn what the option is that you need to go pursue. And then that makes it very much under your control. And so step by step, each of these emotions over time, I spent a lot of time trying to define them out so that they no longer control me and I know how to solve them. And then now it just becomes a faster and faster muscle. Like, oh, I feel anxiety. That means that I have many options, that I don't have priorities. Okay, what's my priority? And then all of a sudden, what used to take days of anxiety and feeling this, frog in my throat was just, oh, I need to make a list of all the things that I'm looking at. Which one's the most important? Ignore the rest. And then, I'm good. And what used to take days takes minutes.
Winners write history. But here's the cool part, is that if you win and when you win, you get to have a revisionist history of your own life. Like you can basically rewrite your own history so that you can make it whatever you want.
One of the easiest ways to have more money is to work more hours. And you're like, how is that possible? Well, when you work more hours, it actually kills two birds. One is that you actually make more money when you work more hours. But on top of that, you don't spend money because you have less time to spend it. And so every hour of work is a net positive in two directions. So it saves you money you're not spending and makes you money. And so you want to find those little twists that you can make in your investments of time and money that are outsized. It's not just that you gain, you also stop the loss. I've always been willing to bet big on me. And so a lot of you guys are trying to bet big on Dogecoin or some meme thing or some get rich quick. And I promise you, the guys who have all the money know how to do it better than you. And if you have your last $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 that you're like, what do I do with it? Bet on you, because you'll never sell you. You're a long-term hold, right? And so if you get better, you guarantee the win. And every investment you make compounds. You guarantee compounding because every skill stacks on top of other skills.
There's this line that I heard David Goggins say, "I'm David Goggins, bitch." I remember him saying it, and I thought to myself, you want to be able to say that in the mirror to yourself and not laugh at yourself. Mm-hmm. And the only way that I can do that is know that when no one's watching, I work harder than when they're watching. And thinking about it like that has given me this persistent and ever-present scorecard or third party that's no one's watching, which means now you have to work because otherwise you're full of shit. nothing great was ever achieved by people who tried to be great at all things. And so I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna, I might not have a great relationship for a long period of time. I mean, there was like, a lot of people don't know this, but in the early days of our relationship, even when we were married, I told Leia, so the first 3 years, I said the business comes before our marriage. So a lot of people don't know that. And I was like, well, to me, it made sense. It was like, most people break up over money. The business makes money. So the business feeds us, and then we will be okay. That was kind of my thinking around it. And we eventually flipped that and said, like, if we're good, the business will be fine. But it took 3 years to get there. But all that to say, like, I think having periods of imbalance, and maybe, to be fair, if I hadn't had that priority at that time, maybe Gym Launch wouldn't have been what it became. And so I can't look back and say, like, I should have done it different, because it's really easy to say that now. But like, I might not be here to say that if I had been that way.
The people who, mean a lot to you won't remember you to a degree, sure. Whenever I have my harder times, that's my like reminder to self of the absurdity of it all, which is like, someone's gonna argue over what appetizer they're gonna serve when I die. This probably doesn't matter that much.
You will die. Months later, no one will care. And so why care about what they think so much when they care so little about what you do? Like, take the risk, right? Shake off the losses, shake them off. Because in the end, you live for the story only you can tell to the only person who was there with you the entire time, which is you. You might as well make it epic, because you're literally the story writer and the story listener, the story consumer. We're born alone and we die alone. Even if other people captured your entire life, they still don't know what was going on in your head. They don't know your intentions. They don't know what you were thinking through at every given moment. Only you do that. That's why being able to, over time, in my opinion, be the judge, jury, executioner of your own faith and your own judgment is one of the most valuable things you can do, because you're the only person who can say, good job. You might win in some circumstances and not have tried. To me, that's a loss. Because you know you could have put more in. You didn't empty the tank, right? You left some on the field. The other extreme, if you followed a logical thought path and you moved mountains to try and accomplish something, and if you actually had exhausted every possible path that you could think of, truly, beyond costs that were not worth the price of whatever you were trying to get, you exhausted all of the paths that were worth it, and you don't get it, other people may have said that you lost, but you know there's nothing else you could have done. And so you can still say, good job.
So I spent 5 years building a chain of gyms. So I had 6 locations. And after that, I sold 5 of them. I shut one down. And then I transitioned to doing turnarounds. In the transition between shutting my gyms down, I got a big payday because I sold my 5 gyms. Big for me, relative. I took all that money and I put it into the next thing. The partner that I had in that next thing ended up taking the money and disappearing, filing bankruptcy, and sending it to his girlfriend in Sweden. I couldn't make this up. So there was no way I could get the money back, and he had filed bankruptcy. So there was no course of action for a lawsuit. And so a lot of people would probably go through that mental situation and think, and I went through this, was thinking, I just wasted the last 5 years. Like, I literally started a chain, built, like, put everything into the second location, put everything in the third location, the fourth location, kept going, right? I kept doubling down, and then I get my big payday, and I put it all on black. And then it disappears with one spin of the roulette. And so here I am, and I'm like, I have nothing to show for the last 5 years of work. But then in the next 12 months, I made more money than I'd ever made in my entire life up to that point. The 5 years, I made more profit the next 12 months than I made in the last 5 years, times like 5. And it was because, and this is only, I was only able to realize this in retrospect, which is why I'm sharing it, which is that the thing that was the outcome of those 5 years was me and the skills and the experiences that I possessed through going through it. And so whatever the next mountain that you're trying to climb is, of course it's going to be higher, but it's going to require you to go through the smaller mountains to get to that point. So, because the more able you are, the more able you realize you can become. And you will get way bigger outcomes from the things that you had, like the path that led you here, than you think you can. That's why since that moment where I lost everything, and then I was able to make more in the next 12 months, I realized that no work is wasted, because I am the output of the work, not the outcome. And that was one of the biggest frame shifts for me in never thinking that work is wasted, because the more I work, the bigger my work ethic, the more my work capacity increases.
Right, so it all comes down to how you behave. Yeah. How you behave dictates and controls the quality of your thoughts, because it's what dictates how you position yourself. So it all comes down to action. That's why life, there's formulas and recipes to success, which is what I talk about. Yeah. You know, there's ways to win. When I meet entrepreneurs, I can tell whether they're going to succeed or not based off of the patterns and behaviors that they instill and that they showcase in their life. Mm-hmm. I know people that are going to lose in life and people that are going to win based off of what? Their behavioral patterns. Mm-hmm. Patterns repeat themselves all across the universe. Yeah. So we understand that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you see somebody inputting negative behaviors, you can very much dictate what the outcome is going to be. Yeah. Once again, if you understand these things, you begin to act in accordance to that which you want. Mm-hmm. And the mindset isn't something that you have to have turned on all the time. That's what people neglect. The mindset is just supposed to direct you. And once you have the direction, you just have to go. Mm-hmm. Most people, once again, they don't set the direction and they don't have the steps on how to get there. That's why mentors are important. That's why community is important. That's why understanding and surrounding yourself with people that are older and more experienced is important, because it's going to give you the data sets and the information in order to navigate.
What does that mean? Is that anything that comes your way, bear it with joy. Be happy. Be glad.
Be grateful.
Be grateful.
It could be a lot worse.
You could not be alive. You could be dead. It could be a lot worse. You could be in a shitty situation. Most of the complaints and bullshit that I hear from people is, oh, dude, I'm making $5K a month. Life sucks. Dude, let me take you to Somalia, where these guys are literally having to scavenge, having to pirate, having to do all this bullshit. Let me take you to Southeast Asia, where these working for $1 a day.
Belief. Belief is a skill. Belief requires so much development. Because it's hard to believe things that you can't see. It's hard to believe when you're skinny or overweight that you can have a six-pack and that you can have a crazy physique. It's hard when you're poor to believe that one day you can be rich. It's hard to believe when your mama's working a 9-to-5 or 2 jobs that you can actually retire her in a couple years. It's hard to believe these things. But if you can actually sit there and have a conversation with yourself and believe that all things are possible, then everything is possible.
The best version of myself.
And who was that for you?
I have yet to tell you, brother. Mm-hmm. I'll let you know when I die. It's a work in progress. I can't tell you whether I'm successful or not now. I'll tell you on my deathbed. Yeah. Why? Because it's a progressive realization of yourself. You're consistently realizing that you can become better and better and better. Yeah. It's like going to one skyscraper and being able to see the surroundings versus seeing something from the floor level. You can't see what you can't see. Mm-hmm. So my goal is just to become better and better and better, not self-sabotage, not be a liar, not be a hypocrite, be authentic. And in the authenticity, I can climb levels, become better. And the more I can see, right, the clearer life becomes. So maybe in 10 years, my definition of success completely changes. Mm-hmm. Who knows, bro? And that's the beauty of life. Yeah. Is everything changes consistently as you garner more information. So 10 years ago, I was like, dude, I just want to be free. Today, I'll tell you the same thing. I'm a free man, right? But I get to enjoy things pretty nicely. I get to build my character. I get to spend time reading. I get to spend time hanging out with you guys, hanging out with friends. I get to build businesses.
What is to believe, right? So self-belief. Believing is this idea of having faith in something that you don't know is real. To me, the most important one is self-realization, where you don't have to believe it, you know it to be. So now this idea of leveling up and pursuing something is not because you believe and hope that something's going to happen, but you've realized that if you do this, you will receive this. From input, you'll receive a certain output. So you no longer have to live a life of fear because it's not a life of belief. It's a life of realization and certainty. So I agree with you. It's this idea, which I know that's what you were trying to convey, this idea of deep down knowing for sure and coming to that conclusion.
The problem is most people don't trust themselves. And the reason they don't trust themselves is because they are in auto self-sabotage mode 24/7. Everything that they do,
they're sabotaging themselves. No wonder you can't trust yourself. No wonder you don't have any courage. No wonder you think you're going to fail. Is because your mind is literally telling you, dude, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. So you need to start on the small wins. Start focusing on the small wins. Get groomed. Clean your room. Start hanging out with good people. Read a chapter in a book and say, I'm going to read a chapter, and you sit down and you read it. Right? I'm going to read this news article, and you sit down and you read it. I'm going to eat good food and not bad food. And you do it, and you start building trust with yourself. Trust, reputation, rapport. And then you realize, wow, I can actually do anything that I want because I trust myself to do it. So learn how to trust yourself by doing the small things right. And how you do the small things is how you do the big things. So focus on the small things, focus on laying down the bricks. And soon, when you zoom out, you'll have a wall of China. It'll be so big beyond comprehension, people won't be able to even understand what was built. It's because every brick that you laid was done with perfection.
When you say something, make sure it counts for something.
Okay.
If you're gonna expend energy talking, make sure that it's valuable.
Right.
If there's nothing to say, just shut the.
What do I mean by winners win and losers lose? I get asked this question all the time. I want to share it with you today. Winners are people that everything that they do, all the habits that they instill are the habits of a winner. A winner isn't a final product. A winner is a lifestyle. A winner is a concurrent set of actions that lead you to a final destination. Same way is for losers. Usually losers inhibit behaviors of losing people, who they hang out with, what they eat, what they listen to, what they consume on a regular basis, how they think about themselves, how they view the world. They view everything through the lens of a loser. That's why they are where they are today. So when people come to me and they're like, Luke, why is my life shit? All I have to do is look at your action. How are you operating, dude? Most of you guys are operating at a 2 out of 10 and you're expecting a 10 out of 10 life. It's impossible. You want uphill results with downhill habits. It's not gonna fucking work, dude. You gotta level up. And that means understanding that if you follow a list of successful ingredients, you're gonna achieve success. Dude, the blueprint's out here. I'm in fucking Singapore, hanging out with billionaires. You don't think they're gonna drop some nuggets of truth and information telling me, hey, this is how the world works. You gotta follow this ingredient list. This is what successful people do. Stay away from this bullshit. This is gonna make you a loser. The ingredient list is out there. You just gotta be paying attention. You don't have to reinvent the fucking wheel. There have been successful people before you. There will be successful people after you. The question is, will you become successful? Will you instill the habits of a winning person? Will you embody the beliefs of a winning individual? Will you cut out the bullshit that makes you a loser? Or are you gonna keep consuming and being like, oh, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong is you're wrong. Your life is wrong. Everything you do, when the moment you wake up, you self-sabotage. You're setting yourself up for failure. And then you're asking why you suck at life. You suck at life because everything that you do is sucking and draining you away from your fullest potential. Focus on leveling up, motherfucker. Focus on winning. Every single action, everything that you do, focus on winning. Focus on becoming a champion. And you know what the outcome will be? You will become exactly what you put in. You will become the outcome of your actions. You will become the outcome of your decisions. I'm a winner. And I'm not a winner by what I've achieved. I'm a winner by what I do today. Not what I did yesterday, not by what I do tomorrow, not how you perceive me, but how I perceive myself. Did I cheat myself today? Or did I win? Did I beat myself at this game of life? That's all that matters. I ain't competing with you, I ain't competing with him, with her. I'm competing with myself. Winners win, losers lose. Pick a fucking side and go after it.
People are built different. That's why they're better. You have to rebuild yourself if you want a different life. Like, you expect to be a loser with winning results, and it doesn't, like, your brain isn't getting the signal that your life is shit because you're shit. Excuse me, once again. You know what I mean? So if your life is